Allmotor Rob here. So I'm gonna change out the tie rods real quick. Shouldn't be a big issue. And also too, just explain to you guys how I set up my hood exit header on this car and how it fits and what I had to do to get there. I'll go through it and just explain with the camera kind of facing all the parts, and I'll be pointing here and there and kind of walking you guys through it. But I'll also leave a diagram that I'm going to draw on my iPad so that way you guys can get better visual as to what I did and how I went about it. Guys, huge shout out to Jack Sung. I believe that's how you pronounce his Instagram name. Shout out to him for hooking me up. He sent me some tie rods because Civic needed some tie rods desperately. You know, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate, you know, you looking out for me and helping out with the car and stuff to get the car along and on its way, you know. Good motivation for me too to know that there's other people out there that care about me and the car and, you know, willing to send parts on their dime for me, you know. I'm out here and looks like it's about to rain. Pretty nasty weather. Alright guys, I will start at the traction bar because that's what everyone has questions about. How do you make that header fit with the traction bar? Because on the EFs we have, and the CRXs we have a slightly smaller engine bay than like the EKs and stuff. So got to do some manipulation here, some fab work to get it in there. As you can see, look how tight that fit is. You can see right where my finger is pointing, it's resting on part of the traction bar. See that? Now this is an old Innovative traction bar, so I'm sure that with the newer ones that's out there that you guys might have some better clearances as far as that area goes right there. So what I did was my original traction bar, you can see there's part of the bracket there that mounts it to the chassis. This is the original bar here, and it ran all the way across underneath the header. But as you can see, they clash because look, the header sits way lower than the traction bar. I would say at least a good 2.5, 3 inches. So what I did was I cut it here and I cut it over there, and then I welded these extensions here, and there's another one right here out, and then just got myself some angle iron, doubled it up, welded it. So now this right here is taking the support of this. So all I really did was extend it out. So if you guys are looking to install this header on your car, this is something that you're probably gonna have to do. So if you find like a cheap or used traction bar that you can chop up and you're not afraid to cut into your $300 or $400 traction bar, this is the way to go. Unless you just totally make your own traction bar. And because of the clearance issues over here, I did have to kind of make some spacers. I took a nut, a large nut, and a washer, and I welded them together to make a spacer. And then I just used the stock bolts and just ran them all the way up. So that's how it's mounted up. And it's like that on both sides. From what I know, the only thing that's going to make a difference with how your car performs on the track and in straight lines, which is why you add a traction bar to stabilize the suspension and the wheels and stuff, keep the wheels from pulling back under acceleration. The only real thing that helps with that is this here radius rod. Radius rod connects to the control arm, and then it connects to this here traction bar mount. So honestly, if you just had a radius rod and this piece right here and no bar in the center, your car would probably still perform really well, because this radius rod is keeping the wheels from pulling back when you step on the gas pedal. Because naturally the wheels kind of want to pull back and they kind of spread out in either direction, you know, right and left when you hit the gas. And this rod right here keeps the wheels straight, no matter how hard you get on it. And this bar, the main bar here, I'm sure that that's just to help stiffen up the whole front end and everything. But like I said, you add a bar out here, this takes up for this right here, so this compensates for that. Fill in a diagram and I'll draw on it, and you guys can see as I'm drawing and how everything works out, and hopefully that'll get you going with one of these headers. All right, you guys, I don't know if you can hear all the noise outside, but yeah, it started pouring down, raining. So I just closed down the garage door on this thing and got my lights on, because this light's motion activated, so it only turns on if you're moving. And there's the sensor right up there. See? So I just set up that light, and I got a light over here. That's plenty. I got another light. Open up this door. Oh, what do we got here? There was a brown widow in here a couple of days ago that was fresh. Just trying to keep my eye out. Good old Florida weather, I'll tell you that. Might as well turn this off. And that. Look at this shit. Toast. I'm gonna hit that with some PB Blaster. Where's my selection? Grab some paper towels. I want to make a mess. Alright guys, so you made it to the end of the video. I'm just going to draw up a demonstration on almost like a blueprint of how the car is set up for the header. The mounting brackets with the holes to mount to the chassis. Got your radius rods out here. So all I did was I cut my traction bar in two right here to make clearance for that header, the bottom part of the header. And I cut just enough out for what I needed. I didn't want to cut any more out and have to worry about support issues. So I cut just enough out, okay? Then I welded a bracket here, and a bracket here. Then I connected the angle iron. So this is pretty much what you're left with after you chop everything up, okay? Now some people might say this is a little extreme what I did to make this header fit, but I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with how I set this up. I've already test driven the car. I haven't did a hard pull in it yet, but everything is holding up real solid. I've checked the welds for cracks. Everything's still good.